What's up, everybody? Derek the 100 Mile Miner here, and I'm back out at this. If you look back a couple videos, that high-grade gold vein I found, this is another one in that series of veins on this bank. Unfortunately, not claimable, but in that video, I fire assayed this, and it's got really good gold, but it's not recoverable by gravity. So I have been experimenting with some leaches with Ecogoldex and finally got a good test recovery. So I am going to pull a sample here and mill that up and leach it and show you how that works and recover a bead of gold and silver. So we're going to get a sample from this vein and the other one that's up the way a little bit and get them back to the shop. Some dandy weather out here today. Okay, I got that sample back at the shop. Got it crushed, loaded in my hopper to start running through the mill. See, it's kind of a pretty muddy mix with the quartz, a lot of clay in there. So through some experiments of mine, I found that if I rinse the ore out and re-assay it, it raises the grade, kind of concentrates it a little bit. So I'm gonna run this through my mill. I'll go show you on the table what I got rigged up to catch the tailings, so they'll be somewhat rinsed and upgraded a little bit to leach. So I'll go show you that now. Okay, so normally that is the number 3 port. Middlings, whatever you want to call it. Most of the time it's hardly worth rerunning, but so what I've done here is rigged up this little channel here that goes to channel most of the tailings, almost all of it, into that number 3 port so I can catch it in that bucket. I'm running about 45 pounds through the mill. I'm guessing I'll end up with what we're going to call 40 pounds because some ends up oversized, doesn't make it onto the table. So we're going to try to upgrade it with that and end up with something to leach. I got a sample of the head ore mixed from the hopper to fire assay. We're going to fire assay that before we leach it and after, and show you the whole process. Got it ready to go. Let's fire up the mill. Okay, so here's the gold I got from about 40 pounds, which is actually more than I typically get. Must have hit a good pocket. So we will smelt this, and I'll get the number 2s panned down, and we'll get those going and see what gold we recover with gravity, what it assays after running through the table and before and all that. So let's get moving. All right, here's what I got from the number 2. Very, very little. It's typical. So, but we will smelt it all to get an idea of what we can recover by gravity. Okay, so here is my tailings, and that's Duke. Here's the water. I haven't added anything to it yet. We got to get the pH to about 11. Right now it's at about 9. So I'm going to add some sodium hydroxide till we get it up to 11. Okay, I've got the water in the bucket adjusted to just over 11 pH, and I'm going to start with 18 grams of Ecogoldex in the 3 gallons of water. But first I'm going to warm it up and mix it in here, get it thoroughly mixed. Sometimes there's some metal shavings in there. The stirrer will pick those up, but I'm going to get it fully dissolved before we dump it into the bucket. All right, show you the next part in a minute. Okay, so I got that all adjusted with the Ecogoldex. Got the pH right at about 12, just under. So I will add it to my ore here. that's going to be warmed up and with some air going to help it along. So I'll get the leach poured in here and show you what it looks like. Okay, here it is. I've got some air going in there. It's sitting on a radiator heater, kind of Jimmy rigged up, but it'll at least get it warm so it's not cold. And I'll have to get me another mixer. I lost my paddle mixer, my paint one, to stir this up occasionally. To loosen it up, I put this on a drill, got it at least loosened up and mixed. And I'll continue to just stir it a couple times a day. I'll probably let it sit for probably close to a week just to make sure. And we'll come back and filter it out and recover the gold. Okay, so here's the leach. It's been 7 days. I had air going in it and mixing it a couple times a day. So we will filter this out and get on to the next process. Okay, so for the initial filter, I use just this grease filter to kind of get the major solids out. And we'll have to rinse the ore off to get any leach on there. So we'll get this poured in there and get on to the next process. Okay, so I've got my leach all filtered out now, and we need to lower the pH by adding some hydrochloric acid. So I'm going to do that, not with the camera. I'll add that, we'll get it all in there. We got to get it between 2 and 3 pH, and then we will add some zinc powder to cement out the gold. Okay, I've got about 4 grams of zinc here, which should be plenty. I've got the pH at about 2.4. We'll have to monitor it to make sure it stays low as it sits. So we're going to add this, stir it up a little bit, and let it sit. I've got some good ventilation going, so you don't have to, not that this stuff doesn't really off-gas much, but it is, keeps the air clear. So we'll stir this. I'm going to probably let it sit for a few hours, and then we will filter it out and smelt the what's left after we ash the filter and see what we get. Okay, so here's the leach after it's sat for several hours with the zinc. I've stirred it. I'm going to dump it. I got 3 filters to help speed it up. We'll filter it out to capture the zinc and cemented gold, hopefully, if things went right. And then we'll ash these filters and smelt it. Okay, we got it all filtered out. You can see the zinc and hopefully precipitated cemented gold in there. So I'm going to put these filters in the furnace, ash them, so then we can smelt it. Okay, here is my results. Definitely have some fine tuning to do, but you can see I got some values here. So the ore before milling assayed at 4.7 ounce per ton. That's total gold and silver. I didn't part it just to make it simple for here. After I milled it, I expected it to go up, but actually lost some, so that's where I need to refine it. So after the mill, it was 1.9 milligrams, and I only had like 20 pounds of material left after that I leached. So from milling the 40 pounds, I got 0.2 milligram, or not more, 0.2 grams, it's not milligrams, of silver gold bead there. 20 pounds of leach, ore leached, I recovered 0.19 grams, so almost just as much leach that could not recover by gravity. So that's pretty good. You know, work on fine tuning it, but you can see that Ecogoldex does in fact work. Thanks for watching.